give that evidence. Yes.
Can you clarify, my lord, beyond that contained in the affidavit?
We will not this.
Yes.
My lord, if I may assist the court,
Yes.
the issue being raised is we have a written affidavit, which is sworn testimony. Ordinarily, that would be the evidence in chief. The second issue is that it is trite that where a thing has been reduced to a document, in this case, the affidavit, and the annexures thereto, you cannot, under the guise of examination in chief, purport to add to subtract from, to contradict, or vary. Even if this witness were to spend 2 days here, it's just a waste of your time. Section 99 to 101 of the Evidence Act says that evidence is inadmissible.
I think
this make a very brief reply. The rule of objections, as I know them, is that you object to something, objection irrelevant, objection something. There's no specific objection. You're being told that the objections, without a proper basis, we kindly request you to order that the examination in chief proceeds and concludes very shortly. Then Milimani friends would have their time to impeach and to do anything lawful with the witness on the stand. Thank you, my lord.
Ms. Waliwa, you will proceed with the latitude that those paragraphs in the affidavit gives you. And I think we must understand that we have an expert witness. There's a reason why we call him an expert. He has come to tell us something we may not know. Therefore, within that latitude, please proceed.
Thank you, my lord. So, what you are referring to was in paragraph 6 of the affidavit?
Your Honor, exactly. That's the point. And the things I've mentioned are in that affidavit: the ECG, for the Swadasad electrocardiogram, the echo, and the blood tests. I've not gone outside that context, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please refer to paragraph 4 of your affidavit and annexure marked DKG 3. Annexure marked DKG 3. Can you explain the timings reflected in those documents?
Your Honor, is that point number 8?
Paragraph 4. Paragraph 4 of the affidavit.
Yes.
Which talks on when you approximately met the first petitioner.
All right, I've seen it now.
DKG.
Thank you. Yeah, Your Honor, as I mentioned earlier, that was on the day of admission, which we just clarified just now from my handwritten notes of the hospital notes, which was on the 17th of October 2024 at 3:25 p.m.
No, my lord, now the witness is confirming why you are hearing objections. The witness is referring to his handwritten notes, which are not attached to the affidavit.
My apologies, Your Honor. I'll not refer them again.
Please refer to paragraph 4 of your affidavit.
Yes.
And annexure DKG 3.
Yes. Yeah.
That annexure is titled Discharge Summary.
I think you should have somebody to assist the doctor.
Yes.
So that we know exactly what point we are on at.
Yes.
Please not be this one then.
And there are timings mentioned in paragraph 4 of your affidavit.
Yep.
And there are timings indicated in the discharge summary. Could you explain those timings?
This date. And the date of admission, the date of discharge, would that be the issue? Your Honor, this is the day of discharge. The day of admission is the time that the patient was admitted to hospital. As I mentioned earlier, it's written here as 4:18 p.m. I would qualify that, Your Honor, that we must understand what admission date and time.
No, my lord, that's exactly what the law says the witness can't do.
Yes, that one you can't do.
I can't explain.
You can,
No, Your Honor, I respect
what
that.
you should try to avoid
Yeah,
is any interpretation
Of
of the
the
document outside the document.
no problem. Admission time 4:18 p.m., 17th October 2024. Discharge 20th November 2024, 1:06 p.m.
Okay, under paragraph 4, there is a timing of 3 p.m. What transpired at that time?
3 p.m. is the time of admission that the patient arrived in the hospital and was duly attended to.
Just a clarification. 3 p.m. and there is the 4:18.
That's what I was going to, and I was stopped from saying, Your Honor.
Please clarify those.
If I'm allowed.
What happened at 3 p.m.? What happened at 4?
Exactly, Your Honor. That's the
My
point.
lord, we still retain the objection. It is in black and white in the Evidence Act. If it is in the document, no amount of oral evidence from this witness can be admitted for purposes of adding, subtracting from, clarifying, or all these things is now purporting to.
Your Honor.
Let me rephrase that, Your Honor, and because the times you've read them out, when did you see the patient? What time did you see the patient?
3:25.
As per paragraph 4 of your affidavit.
Yeah.
What time did you see the patient?
Approximately 3 p.m.
Okay. What time was the patient admitted to hospital?
At that time that I talked about,
Which was?
3 p.m. But on the paper here, and you must allow me to clarify because you have to understand why that date is there, why that time is there. That's why we are here, to explain to you the discrepancy between 3 and 4. Your Honor, if you allow me, I have an answer to that.
Just answer what she asked you, what the counsel asked you.
Yeah. Answer. Proceed.
The discrepancy is because as one comes to hospital, that is not admission. Admission is when the technical details are entered in the admission papers after all other factors have been taken of the discharge summary, typing, printing on the computer is done by either the medical officer or the registrar or the intern. In this one, it was done by Dr. Sarita. But the consultant overreads what has been seen there and signs that is correct. So it was prepared by Sarita, by signed by me, Dr. Daniel Konya.
Okay, thank you very much. Still on page 4 of 4 of DKG3 annexure, which is the discharge summary. What did you mean by the follow-up, that ongoing review, follow-up?
I believe in medical terms, what we mean by follow-up when you are discharged from hospital is that although you have been treated, there are issues that need to be followed up. How are you faring? We actually, at the current hospital, actually call patients at home and ask them, you were discharged last week, madam, how are you faring? But in more than that, we give you an appointment to come back, just to make sure what we did was correct and you are feeling better, and if anything needs to be done, and then most of the time, you actually need almost a lifetime follow-up.
Okay. Is the annexure marked DKG3 to your affidavit true and accurate copy of the original discharge summary?
Your Honor, it is.
I'll go to the last bit. During the period the first petitioner was under your care, what communication, if any, did you receive regarding his condition from anyone?
Well, Your Honor, there are always follow-up calls from relatives, parents, and friends. And in this particular case, Your Honor, I must be honest enough to specify that I did receive a call from our president asking about the status of the patient, and it responded accordingly.
What did you communicate in response to that inquiry?
Well, the first time, Your Honor, I just said that we are in the process of doing various tests, and as soon as we have a conclusion, we shall let it known.
Okay.
But if Your Honor, you must allow me to say this, that when I said that, I had to seek clearance from the patient that it was okay so to do, which he gave me permission.
Okay, very well. On my second last question, please refer to paragraph 10 of your affidavit. Paragraph 10 of your affidavit. And annexure DKG4.
Yes, Your Honor.
And tell this honorable court the relevance, if any, of the annexures in relation to your testimony.
You know, Your Honor, during this hospitalization, this hospitalization for reasons that happened that time became a public issue, and there were public notices in newspapers and television services covering the issue.
Okay. Lastly, please refer to paragraph 11 of your affidavit, and in summary, what you'd like this honorable court to understand regarding the first petitioner's admission and treatment.
Your Honor, I have only one statement to make, and that the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua was admitted to hospital on the date so specified and discharged on the date so specified and treated according to the statutory medical practices.
Thank you very much. That is all, my lord.
Thank you.
Good morning, Dr.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Movomi. I think we know each other.
Lovely. Nice
Yes.
to meet you in these circumstances.
I will ask you a few questions
I'll be
on
pleased to
behalf
answer.
of the respondents
Thank you, sir.
and the second interested party who is the party I represent in this case. For the record, please confirm that your affidavit is dated 28th of April, the year 2026.
That is correct, Your Honor.
You will agree with me, sir. This affidavit has been made 1.5 years after the events described in it. Correct or incorrect?
Correct.
It's correct. Was this affidavit placed before the Senate?
I wouldn't be aware because it didn't exist that time. This request has come now.
The request has come now.
Yes.
You don't believe, sir, it is bizarre that a request of this nature in a case of this nature will be made 1.5 years down the line? Would you agree with me? That's bizarre. It's not natural.
Sir, I don't know the proceedings in court of those issues.
Fair enough. This affidavit has attached some medical records, Exhibit 3. Correct or incorrect?
Correct.
That exhibit, was it placed before the Senate?
I wouldn't be aware, sir.
You are not aware. But you will confirm whichever date we take from the multiple dates on it. These are again events that this document was available about 1.5 years ago by the date given this of 17th October, isn't it?
I mean, that is certainly. What is this? Yes, that's.
You have to agree this document was available.
Yes.
You also have to agree that with due diligence, this document would have been placed before this honorable court about 1.5 years ago. True or true?
No opinion, sir. I don't know.
No opinion. Fair enough.
Yes.
You have now attempted to explain a discrepancy between paragraph 3 of paragraph 4 of your affidavit. It talks of 3 p.m.
That's correct.
But exhibit 3 at the top right talks of 4:18 p.m.
About an hour difference, yes, sir.
You agree that's a discrepancy on its face? On its face, without more looking at it, is there or is there no discrepancy?
None whatsoever, sir.
Are you saying 4:18 p.m. is the same time as 3 p.m.?
There are different times for different.
There are different times. Therefore, you agree with me, sir.
Lord, could the witness be given the opportunity to complete answers to his questions without being cut short?
Dr. Gikonyo, is it your testimony that the time 3 p.m. given at paragraph 4 of your affidavit is the same time given as 4:18 p.m. in the medical record?
They are different
Good.
occurrences.
They are different times.
Occurrences. They are not the same thing we are describing.
Okay. This explanation you are now offering on the witness doc, is it given anywhere in your affidavit? The explanation for the discrepancy, is it set out anywhere in your affidavit?
It should be understood.
No, the question is it set out anywhere in your affidavit? That explanation you are now offering in court.
Not there because
It is not there.
it was never raised. Otherwise, I would have given an answer if it was
We are
raised.
here to raise it, unfortunately.
And we are given an answer.
Let's stick to that page 104. Dr. Gikonyo, you have to agree with me that we identify individuals in Kenya by reference to their national identity card or passport number. Correct or incorrect?
Depends on the purpose, sir. In my class, they call me DK.
Does this document indicate the identity card of the patient being attended to? Does it indicate the identity card number? National identity card number. Either it does or it does not.
We have the client's ID number in
That's
his record.
not my question, sir. My question is, on its face, does this document disclose the national identity card of the patient it describes?
Deliberately not.
Good. Does it indicate the travel passport number of the patient?
Deliberately not.
Good. Deliberately not.
Yes.
Very good answer. Does it give the patient's name?
Deliberately not.
Therefore, you have to agree with me, sir. A document that does not contain the patient's name, does not contain the patient's national identity card number, does not indicate the passport number. We have no way, based on the document, of ascertaining who is the patient described in that document.
We do have, we can ask the person who prepared it.
No, the person on the doc is you. Does this document on its face, sir, disclose the identity of the patient described there?
Only by initials, RG.
RG,
Yes.
which could mean anything, isn't it?
To other people, but not to me.
Okay. Fair enough. I put it to you, sir, that you having brought this document to court, you cannot run away from the fact that it doesn't disclose the identity of your patient.
Deliberately so when it was prepared. But now I can disclose. As if you ask me who it is, I'll tell you. RG.
RG could as well be Rob Gitao, right?
Could be, but it is not.
It could be Ruth Gitanga.
It is not. Ask me
I
what
put
it
it
is.
to you, sir, it can be anyone and anything.
In this category, no.
Okay, fair enough.
You can ask me who is RG. I'll tell you who is RG.
The problem,
And
doctor, is we don't
me-
believe you. That's why these questions are being asked.
You ask me, why did you write RG? I explain.
It is me who chooses, unfortunately, the questions to ask. So, let's go to that. The title of the document is a medical summary.
Correct?
You have to agree there is a difference between the summary and the primary document.
That's true.
So has the primary document been placed before this court?
I don't know.
Can you see it anywhere in your affidavit? You can take time to flip through.
Not on my affidavit.
It is not in your affidavit. You have to agree with me, therefore, in the absence of the primary document, an independent reader has no way of confirming whether this summary agrees with the primary document.
They can ask the writer who is in front of us here.
No, on the documents, we are dealing with the document. In the absence of the primary document, would the third party have a way of confirming whether the summary is accurate?
If that document was adequate in itself, I would not be here. I am here to answer questions pertaining to the document, to say whether it's correct. If it was adequate on itself, you wouldn't call me here.
We actually called you, Dr. Ikonyo, because the document has just too many gaps.
For me
Let's
to
go to the paragraph of your affidavit that talks of the 48 hours to 72 hours.
Correct?
That's paragraph 7 of your affidavit.
Correct, sir.
If that were true, it would mean this patient, and we mean patient RG, whose identity we don't know,
Which I can confirm.
it would mean that this patient would have been discharged on or before 20th October 2024. Correct or incorrect?
Or a month later.
We are following the document, sir. Your paragraph says he was admitted for how long? 48 to 72? Your paragraph 7.
Sir, please read correctly. Recommended.
And when does it say he was discharged?
On the 20th
Of which month?
of October.
Of October. Good. And what is the discharge date given in the medical summary?
November.
November. That's actually 34 days later,
Correct.
correct?
Yes.
You have now attempted in your exam in chief to explain the discrepancy.
Not attempting. I did explain.
Okay. Let's take it you have explained. You have explained while on the witness dock
Yes, Your Honor.
the discrepancy of 34 days, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that explanation set out anywhere in your affidavit? The explanation you gave this court for that discrepancy?
Yes. This is understood. I have
No, my
explained.
question is the explanation you are now offering 1.5 years later, is it said, show me the paragraph of your affidavit that explains the discrepancy?
It was not required.
It was not required. But for the record, is it given in your affidavit, that explanation?
Not given because not
Good.
required.
It's not given. This summary gives the consultants who are attending to the patient. Can you see that part of Exhibit 3?
I do, yes.
It begins with yourself. Who are the other doctors?
Your Honor, if you allow me to explain,
You can look at it.
I know it by
I haven't asked the question for you to explain. You can only answer questions I ask.
I know the names on the list, but I can look
The
at
names
them. Yeah.
given there,
Yes, I can look at them, but I know them.
you know them.
All
Good.
of them, yes.
Is the maker of this document one of the doctors who are indicated as attending to this patient?
No.
No.
Do you need an
So
explanation
we
for that?
don't have the primary document, and we have a summary made by a person who did not attend to the patient.
Not correct.
Not correct. Is Dr. Sarita, just for the record, indicated as one of the doctors in this summary who are attending to this patient?
She is not a consultant.
My question is she indicated as one of the doctors who are attending to the patient? From the list given at the top, is Dr. Sarita one of them?
Your Honor, I must explain what this list of consultants mean to the audience here.
We are not interested in that. The question is she indicated? Either she is, and Dr. will add quickly if you answer the question. The more we kick about the bush, unfortunately, the longer time it will take.
But I can't allow you, sir, to proceed on a misunderstanding.
My Lord, the witness has no...
Excuse me, Dr. Ari.
Yes.
You came here to give evidence.
Yes,
you
Your Honor.
answered questions as put to you by counsel
Okay.
without any
But, Your Honor, if you...
deviation. Just answer the questions as put to you. If you don't know, you say you don't know. Then we proceed.
And that's how the law works,
Ah.
Dr. Gikonyo, just for the record.
Thank you. I understand now.
So is Dr. Sarita indicated in this document?
Should you find that there's a need for clarification,
Yes.
they will ask you to clarify.
All right.
Yes.
Go on.
So Dr. Gikonyo, is Dr. Sarita, the maker of this summary, indicated as one of the physicians that were attending to the patient, known as RG? On the face of it, is she indicated in the list of those doctors?
Not as a consultant.
Is she indicated in any other way?
As a preparing, as the one to prepare the document, yes.
That's not my question. Just wait. Is she indicated as attending to the patient in any medical capacity? The maker of this document.
The people taking care of the patient are not listed.
I thought they are listed here, sir, about 6 of them.
Those are the consultants. There are other doctors in the system, medical officers, intensive care doctors, and other people And as I mentioned earlier, we are a teaching hospital.
Is there any material you have placed in your affidavit to show those other doctors and the fact that they were attending to the patient?
No.
Good. In fact, on the document before the court, we have no way of knowing who else other than the 6 given that attended to the patient.
Only by asking the person on the doc.
No, we are talking on the document side.
Not on the document, sir.
Good. Let's go to the bottom of that document. Bottom left. That document has a computer timestamp at the bottom left, correct? Bottom left, below prepared by Dr. Sarita.
That is right. 2011, 24, 12:40?
12:40 p.m.
Yeah.
So what is the date and time of this document's preparation as per that timestamp? It is prepared on the 20th of November 2024 at 12:40 p.m. Correct or incorrect?
Right, that's correct.
Now let's go to the opposite side of the page, bottom right.
Yeah.
What is the date and time given? The date you confirm?
20 November 24, 12:35, 19.
12:35. You have to agree those are 2 different timestamps. Correct or incorrect?
That's correct.
You must agree, sir, that it is not possible for this document to have been prepared at 2 different times as it purports to say.
I won't understand why the computer would do that. I would have to check on the computer data.
Unfortunately, sir, you have to agree with me that on the face of it, this is a discrepancy as to the time when this document was prepared. It has 2 timelines. Which one do we take?
I do not know.
Good. You don't know.
I won't add that it wouldn't matter.
You have testified that this patient and the prior history, we go to page 204,
Yes, Your Honor.
and you have summarized it there.
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you placed before this court any primary documents to prove this alleged prior past medical history?
If required, is available.
No, my question, sir. Have you placed before court any material to show that this patient had prior history of the conditions described there?
None at all, but if
None
required,
at all.
if
Good.
required, Your Honor, it's
None at
available.
all.
It's available. I have it on me here today.
Unfortunately, it's you who testified on affidavit on oath, sir, that he has past history. So you have to agree with me then, in the absence of that material on the record, this is just an allegation. We have no way, based on your affidavit, to confirm that the patient described there had this prior history.
You have no way, but if you are interested in knowing, it can be provided.
Doctor, you say you did a number of tests on this patient,
Yes, Your Honor.
including an echocardiogram,
Yes, Your Honor.
2D, one is called 12 LED and the other one 2D, right?
Yeah.
You must agree with me that that machine for echocardiogram generates a report and a graph, correct or incorrect?
Of course. Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. Have you in this affidavit attached that graph that the machine generates to show that the patient has the conditions described in the summary?
No, it's not. Available if required.
No. My question is, have you attached to the affidavit the report that the echocardiogram machine generates?
Definitely not.
Good. Have you attached the report that the other machine automatically generates?
Not attached, but exists.
Fine. Have you attached the images that were supposedly taken of this patient?
If I thought they would be useful for this court, I would have attached them. I
Fair
thought it was not necessary to attach them, but they are available if required.
But you would agree with me that the images and the graphs and the reports would be the primary document evidencing the illness, correct or incorrect?
Correct.
Therefore, if that is correct, you must agree with me that this summary, in the absence of those images and those graphs and those reports, cannot be the evidence that patient RG had the conditions described in your affidavit.
Unfortunately, I would not agree with you.
Fair enough. You say you also took some blood tests.
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you attached the laboratory report of those blood tests to this affidavit? We have no way of knowing whether there were blood tests or what were the results of any such blood tests.
I disagree. We have a way of knowing. You can ask me, I can produce them.
Platelets and blood chemistry and other things, correct or incorrect? Either it does or it doesn't, Dr. Ari.
It does.
Do we have in your affidavit the primary document, that is the laboratory report for all these tests?
Available if required.
No, my question is, do we have it in your affidavit?
Definitely not. They are not there.
Definitely not.
Yes.
In page 404, there is some information there about follow-ups. Have you produced before this court any document on that follow-up?
Has not been requested.
The question is, have you annexed it, sir?
No.
You have not annexed it. So again, I put it to you, there is no material before this court to confirm there was any follow-up. Dr. Gikonyo, in summary, you have admitted you have no material before court to show the prior history of the patient. You have confirmed there is no material before the court to evidence his medical condition when you supposedly attended to him. And there is also now no material of the follow-up. Is it not because this gentleman was in your hospital to hide away from the Senate? He was not sick. I put it to you.
Let me laugh a little bit first.
Trust me, I too have been laughing about it.
Sir, Your Honor, I must apologize. I must apologize. I must apologize, Your Honor, for that. I must apologize, Your Honor. But honestly, sir, if the question arises as to those documents that have been raised, if they are available, and if you are looking for justice and honesty, you can ask me to provide them. And It takes 2 seconds. They are here.
Yes, you may have them, but they are not on the record, sir.
You can have them. anytime.
Unfortunately, the law does not permit you, Dr. at this belated stage, to even refer to them, because they should have been put on the affidavit. But to my summing up questions, your affidavit alludes to some media coverage
Yes, Your Honor.
of this alleged illness.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you give yourself a press conference on this illness?
Yes, Your Honor, on demand from the press.
On demand from the press?
Yes.
Dr. Gikonyo, is it standard medical practice for doctors to give press conferences as to their patient's illness?
It depends on the sensitivity of the issue.
The question, sir, is it standard medical practice for doctors
Yes, when it's
to
required.
call press conferences?
No, sir, we don't call for press conferences.
Okay.
Press comes to us.
When you were giving this press conference, the case before the Senate was proceeding, correct or incorrect?
Most likely so.
You found time to give a press conference, but you didn't find time to go and tell the Senate.
Oh, no.
Okay.
In what capacity would I go to the Senate?
Good. Wouldn't the Senate, where the proceedings were going on, sir, have been the natural forum for you or any of your colleagues to go and tell Senate that the witness cannot come because he's been admitted in hospital?
I'm not sure if access to the Senate is available to every common person like me.
That's all from me. I will yield the floor to Mr. Mukele Melod to wrap up the cross-exam.
Well, there is a serious allegation in the form of a question raised by Dr. Thionkulu that Dr. Gikonyo was hiding the first petition. That was posed, and I'm not sure that Dr. Gikonyo was given the opportunity to respond.
Why don't you respond in your response?
Just for the record, the witness answered and he said his answer was to laugh.
We'll deal with it.
To deal with it.
We'll deal with it, yes. Thank you.
My Lord, the leadership. Senior Counsel Dr. Tiankolu has covered quite a bit of ground. I will only have about 3 or 4 questions for this witness. I don't think I have much to add. Good morning, Dr.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Edwin Mukele. I represent the third and fourth respondents. I've been permitted by Senior Counsel, Professor Ojeda, to ask 1 or 2 questions on behalf of the Senate.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I had your last comment to be that you are not sure, and this goes to Dr. Tiankolu's very last statement, you're not sure whether you have access to the Senate. That's what I heard you say.
Yes, I said so, sir.
Now, Dr. Gikonyo, the affidavit that you presented before court is sworn on the 28th of April 2026.
That's correct.
That's correct. Do you recall when the first petitioner was impeached?
Not the exact date, but I believe the same day that he came to hospital.
The same day that he came into hospital. Would that be the 17th of October 2024?
Most likely so, sir.
Most likely. This is about, we then receive your affidavit in court about 1.5 years
That is correct.
after he has been impeached.
That's correct.
Now, going back to your evidence, and I'll be very brief, my lord. When asked a question on whether the documents you presented would have been presented to the Senate, your answer was, the request has come now. That is what I had you to answer to one of Dr. Piancolo's questions.
Yes, that's why I'm here today.
The request
sir.
has come now.
That's why I'm here today, sir.
So the request, Dr. Gikonyo, to file the affidavit and the attached documents has come now. That is what you said, yes?
Yes, I mean, yes.
From whom did you receive the request?
From the petitioner.
You received the request from the petitioner.
Yes.
Do you recall, do you know when the petitioner first filed the petition? Might you know?
No, I don't. And I'm not interested.
You're giving evidence and you're not interested
In
the context of a petition in which you have no interest. Is that what you're telling the court?
Yes, that I'm here purely on a medical issue, not on a court issue.
That is startling, Dr. Ari, I must say. It means, in my view, you probably don't understand the reason you're here. But I will go on. You have also, and this is my last question, mine, very brief. You have also confirmed that you do not know whether the affidavit and the documents attached were before the Senate. Do you have any information on that?
Not at all.
You don't have any information on that?
And I agree with you, sometimes I really don't know why I'm here. Because my understanding is I'm here to answer medical questions about the petitioner in hospital.
So,
About law things and court and Senate,
So-
I am ignorant.
so Dr. Gikonyo. Dr. Gikonyo.
Yes, Your Honor.
You cannot tell the court, from what I understood, whether the affidavit and the documents presented today, sorry, the affidavit sworn by yourself on the 28th of April, were before the Senate at the time of the impeachment proceedings.
I wouldn't know. And
You
honestly,
wouldn't know.
Your
That's
Honor,
okay.
I have no interest in those matters.
That's okay, that's okay. We understand that you do not know why you're here. Madam, those have been my very brief questions on behalf of the Senate. I beg to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Gikonyo?
My Lord, we
Very well. We are most right.
My Lord, I'll proceed with the re-examination of Dr. Gikonyo. Very quickly, Dr. Gikonyo, I'll refer you to paragraph 11 of your affidavit
Yes, Your Honor.
on the reason why you filed the affidavit. Could you come clear or clarify why you saw this affidavit, referring to paragraph 11?
Your Honor, that is the way I understood it, until I was made to understand that I had to understand other things of the Senate and other court matters. Because as far as I'm concerned, Your Honor, that paragraph summarizes why that I make this affidavit in my capacity as a medical expert, not a legal expert, in adult cardiology, to assist this honorable court in establishing that the first petitioner was duly admitted to hospital on the date in question, underwent treatment. That was my understanding.
And And you had earlier confirmed that the contents of your affidavit were true.
Completely.
To the best of your knowledge.
Completely. And
Thank you.
I took an oath on that.
Just to clarify a few issues that have propped up during cross-examination, and I will go back to paragraph 4 of your affidavit, and I'll be direct this time round because it cropped up. Is there any admission issues in paragraph 4?
None at all.
Thank you. So at 3 p.m. on 17th of October 2024, what exactly happened?
At around 3 p.m. is the word. Approximately is the word.
Yes.
If you want to know the exact time, it was 3:25. I have it.
What happened?
At around that time is when the petitioner arrived in hospital.
Thank you.
We took him in. We started the normal thing that we do for history taking his weight, blood pressure, and such. At that time, if you allow me to explain, is the time we start now the admission process.
Thank you.
And admission is a process, not an instant. And as we are doing those things, the accountants asking who is going to pay for this, blah, blah. And when they are ready, then they fix on the computer, this man is now admitted.
So when was he admitted?
According to our document here, 4:18 p.m. That is when the actual documentation of admissions were completed. These are technical details of timing and writing. Before that time, we are still seeing the client. We are doing the necessary things, but he's technically not admitted because the accountants have not allowed us to do that.
Thank you. I'll refer you to page 1 of 4 of the discharge summary. And on the top, the patient name is Mr. RG. Who is RG?
You know, Your Honor, if you come to hospital and you are an ordinary citizen, we put your full names and all your other names. There are clients we don't put names on record.
My Lord, we still object. That evidence is extrinsic to the record. It is inadmissible. And my good colleague here knows that question is also impermissible.
The question was actually raised in cross-examination, and what we are seeking is a clarification on who RG is.
And Your Honor, I have said, our practice in a hospital to protect privacy, because these documents go out hospitals. The malaria parasite is positive, blah, blah, it's for the and so. We use codes.
Can you
But
just
who is
ask him who RG is?
RG is the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua.
Okay, is there any other identification information in that document? Have a look. Is there any other identification information with respect to that, without necessarily reading it out?
There's a mobile telephone number also.
Thank you. Would you confirm whether there is any discrepancy between the affidavit and DKG3, the discharge summary?
Not at all.
Thank you. And lastly, is DKRG, what document is DKRG? Because there's been an allegation of a medical report. What is DKRG?
It's a discharge summary.
It's a discharge summary.
It's not a medical report. A medical report gives details that may not necessarily be required by this court. But if required, Your Honor, it's available.
And in your discharge summary, you were confirming what you deponed to in paragraph 11 on the purpose of the affidavit.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Which is admission, discharge, and treatment.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all.
Just one very brief question, Dr. Gikonyo. It was put to you by Dr. Thionkulu that you admitted the petitioner, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, to hide him, suggesting he wasn't sick. And I think you responded by laughing. now that you have finished laughing, will you please answer the question? Was Rigathi Gachagua sick or not sick? Were you hiding him in your hospital? Please answer. It is a serious question.
I must say I laugh because I thought it was not a serious question, because maybe it is not common sense. But however, the answer is yes, he was sick. We admitted him. We have data that's available to any medical person. We have medical reports. We have traces of his ECG, his echoes, everything, lab data that's available and available on demand by this court.
And apart from the documents, Dr. Gekonyo, you were here as the doctor, head doctor who was treating him.
Your Honor, that's why you called me, to answer those questions.
That's
I'd have
right.
answered to the affirmative. I was the one who was treating him with my team. He was sick. We have data. We have provided an affidavit. If there's any further questions, we will provide it.
That's all, my lords, your leadership.
Thank you, Dr. For coming to clarify those issues. You may now take your seat.
My lords, can Dr. Gekonyo be released as a witness?
I would say that he can take his seat.
Okay.
He can be here or he can go home.
Oh, okay. That is the only clarification I want. I don't think you'll be going home, you'll be going back to college.
There's water. There's water. There's water. Is that your water?
Yeah.
Yes, my lords and my lady. Again, we are now in the proper business of submissions, and I am ready to proceed subject to any other direction that you may want to do.
What is the kind of directions that you people will be seeking in relation to procedure?
My lord, if it works for the court, we would want to have the remaining part of the day for us as the respondents try and push and possibly conclude our submissions. We also hope that if time allows, we could then have any responses so that the matter is closed today. But I think what we would be asking for specifically is about, we will not go beyond 8 hours on the outer side.
We are talking about 8 hours and we are talking about concluding today.
Well, my lord, you know, we have previously sat up about 10 p.m., but I wanted to get your direction so that we also know how to budget and plan as to when we'll be ending, so that we know which testimonies you take and whether or not you'd want to have us progress with the submissions this morning.
I think, Mr. Gumbo, before we give directions, we probably want to know how many of you will be addressing the court and what directions do you require with respect to the cross-examination that has just happened. Will you follow that up by making oral submissions so that we don't have to take written?
So, my lord, we will, in the course of making our oral submissions, be also submitting on what has transpired during the cross-examination. So that need not bring any complication. The respondents will deal with issues in the course of highlighting their written submission.
So that is Mr. Gumbo and...
So, my lady, on behalf of the National Assembly, we will have 4 of us making our submissions, we do not expect to go beyond 2 hours.
That is for the National Assembly.
That's for the National Assembly.
Yes, Your Lordship, my lords, on behalf of Senate, I will lead the team and will be on point. We'll be assisted by 2 other counsel on other questions. Not more than 2 hours. I think I should take not more than 2.5 hours. I'm normally very brief.
My Lord, on behalf of Professor Kidure Kindiki, we also need 2 hours. We'll be sharing the time with the team that I lead.
On behalf of the Attorney General, I wish to confirm that we do not wish to make any further submissions, as we believe that our submissions were clear and nothing we have had since we made them has changed that position.
Your Lordship, if I may, on behalf of the 9th respondent, we require about 45 minutes. My Lord, for the 10th respondent, we'll just do 1 hour.
Okay.
On the part of the commission, will take about 8 minutes.
Which commission?
The ABC. The 16th response.
Lord, may I suggest that perhaps we start with the IBC, which is taking 20 minutes, and then we come to the parties who wish to take longer. And also wonder why my learned friend Dr. Thiankulu would require the same amount of time as the primary respondents. He is really an interested
I
party.
think those submissions were being made on the light of the knowledge that I divided by half. Yeah, I will certainly will not give you 2 hours. I'll not give you 2 hours. I'll not give you 2.5 hours. But will give you sufficient time for you to make coherent submissions in this matter.
Our only concern is parity of arms. That side took about 10 hours. 10 hours. So we'll be taking less, even if you add all the times that they took. Yeah, even when you subtract the half, they still took 10 hours.
They did not, but we'll give you sufficient time.
My Lord, for the record, for the Speaker, my Lord, Milimo, my Lord will be taking not more than 30 minutes.
That's 15, that's good. So can we have the person who will set the pace, 10 minutes, IEBC?
If it may please you, my Lord, my name is Kibe Mungai. I appear with Mr. Kamwaro and Mr. Peter Koira for the 10th to 41st petitioners. We made our submissions on our petition last Thursday. My Lord, we are here for the simple reason that the following day, on Friday, the Constitutional Court of South Africa rendered a decision with regard to an issue of presidential impeachment that directly deals with part of the issues that was substantially raised on behalf of the first petitioner and by the 10th to 41st petitioners. A judgment that is directly relevant in this matter. Being proactive, yesterday, the 12th of May, we filed supplementary submissions to bring, which we have served all the parties, to bring that issue to the attention of the court, and with a view that the supplementary submissions that we did, the court may certify them as duly filed so that they become part of the record of our submissions. And today, so that to enable the other side to respond, to be able to seek directions of the court on how we should progress based on that issue. We make this request for the simple reason that the Supreme Court, in the case of Sonko, that has been cited severally, indicated that the advocates and all the parties and the court have a responsibility to ensure that cases are decided on the basis of all relevant matters of law and fact and the best research that is possible. So we are under duty, and we have done something direct, proactively, to certify that duty, that this is a decision that needs to be considered by this court. And the right procedure, if I may be asked, is that I would be requesting that within 30 minutes, I can formally, before they start, because it is a matter they would have a right to respond to summarize what are the issues and brief reasons why that decision should be incorporated and the sense in which it should be understood by this court as part of the petitioner's submissions. I believe in particular the first petitioner, whom Mr. Ochier said a lot of things about that issue of the Senate and the special committee, would have an interest in that particular matter. So may I request for directions on that issue. It is already filed, the decision is also filed, so that all that would be required would be to hear what would be the best way to proceed before the respondents have started. I believe, in view of the proceedings that have taken place, the petitioners have just closed their case for today. Only that my learned colleague, Professor Muigai, had made submissions on behalf of the client Attorney General. So that's all my question.
My lords, we became aware of this decision as soon as it was issued, and this is largely due to my younger learned friend who circulated it, and for which I thank him. It's a very weighty decision from the Constitutional Court of South Africa. It will be our submission. It is totally irrelevant. What I would propose we do, just like my learned friend Mr. Kibe Mungai has done, he has filed his own submissions on it. I would beseech my Lord to open the same path to anybody who wants to submit on it, and we leave it at that. We do not wish further time be expended on this is the court, this is the judgment of a foreign court about foreign law. So it should not detain us, and we should proceed as my Lord has said.
That's a sensible suggestion on our side. And we also think that the court can save time for rejoinder by allowing most of the petitioners to make their rejoinder in writing that way, and then the wish to conclude today could be achieved.
Mr. Kibe, you look...
It's just that it is irresistible for the first petitioner not to join issues, Professor Gidu Muigai, that this decision is utterly irrelevant.
It is?
He said, he told this court that the decision is utterly irrelevant.
I thought you were confirming that.
My concern is that there cannot be a more relevant decision on the attempt to avoid a committee of parliament to do the investigation, and on the jurisdiction of the court to question actions and decisions and resolutions of parliament. This decision answers to those two issues, but if everybody gets leave of this court to put in written admissions on that point, then I'm in agreement with senior counsel, Professor Gibu. Thank you.
I knew, my lords, one day before we retire, my learned friend and I will agree on something.
Thank you very much. I think we have more or less agreed that we treat Mr. Kibe's submissions on that issue. We allow parties for submissions on that issue. And between now and then, and the time we retire to write our ruling, if you have an authority, just file it. Just file it, we'll consider it.
Auditor, we shall say something about it during the rejoinder.
All right, that is okay.
Thank you.
Yes, IABC.
Madam, we have Ms. Joy and Mr. Nura. I think the President called.
We will particularly take note of time.
If your Lordship could give me a second to catch my breath. It's a hassle to get from the back of the court to the front. Pleases my lords, my lady. My name is Nura Abdul Kadir. I appear alongside Ms. Joy, Ms. Faith Kiende, Mr. Derek Asala, and I also hold brief on Mr. Mahat Somani for the 16th respondent, the IEBC. And together with these oral submissions that I will make, the 16th respondent also relies on the submissions he filed